the best players actually are the hardest workers as well. You see a guy like Sidney Crosby, who is so freaking good. He's so good. And a few years ago, he decided that he needed to get better on face-off. So every day for a year after practice, he'd sit there and do face-off after face-off after face-off after face-off. So the best players are typically always the hardest workers too. So now you can't even compete. They've got talent plus the hard work.
Yeah.
So I was telling them, I said, you know, people really don't understand how good you have to be an NHL hockey player. Like the little things, like Zack Kassian, for example. Like he could be skating hard. You can give him the hardest pass you possibly can in limited space, and if it's in his skates, he'll kick it up. If it's anywhere near him, he's got it. He's not missing that pass. He never will, and he never will. And people would look at that and be amazed, but it's just that's how he has to be. So I was telling him a story about. So this would have been. So I'm thinking Webby was retired for. I would say it's probably 2016, 2017. And I was finishing up with those guys right there. Yep. Crowder, Eck, Cass, Willie, Kirby, Henny, all those guys.
Yep.
Ott and Webby. So Webby, we're doing some finishing drills, and Charlie was about, 6 years ago. So he was like, what? Do the math, right? 7? Yeah. I don't know what the math is.
9?
Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
So he was yeah.
Good 9 or 10?
Yeah, okay. So let's say it was that. Because he had his long hair still. And we're finishing up, and we're doing a shooting drill. So Webby, a defenseman, he was assistant captain for Buffalo. 6'2", big guy, hard-working hockey player, but not skilled. And I'm not cutting him up. He wasn't skilled, but skilled more than most people.
Relative to hockey players.
So, but he was a 5'6" his whole career, and block shots and stuff. Anyways, we're doing the shooting drill, and they're from the high slot and from the point, because Eki was shooting and stuff. Otter. So Webby goes and stands in front of the net. I've never seen it before. I've been around hockey. I've seen everything in my life. Never seen this before. So Webby goes, and we're like, Aaron Ekblad is cracking slap shots. I'm shooting. I shoot the freaking puck hard. So I was shooting, and Webby's standing there with a stick like this, like upside down. So I take a little bit off, and so it's coming near his head, and he just goes like this. Top. So Charlie goes, Dad, he's crazy. I go, no, like, he's good at it and stuff, but I've taken some off. And he yells at me, goes, no, go fire, man. So I'm adding a little bit more zip to the shot, to the point where I'm ripping him. And then Eki's shooting, and the NHL guys are shooting, and he's standing right dead center in the middle. He's got a stick like this, and didn't miss a puck. He's a defenseman. No skill McGill. Yeah. Standing in front of the net. Every shot. And he's not holding it like a hockey player. He's holding it like this. Like this. Yeah. Like I'm a lefty. Yeah. His blade's here. So it would come on this side, and he'd just go click. Tap. And they're coming in hard. 85 to 100 miles an hour. Yeah. Didn't flinch. Yeah. So I was sitting there going, I've never actually seen anyone do that before. Yeah. So this is a guy with basically no skill at the NHL level. Yeah. And he didn't miss one puck coming at him full shots. And another example of that was we had Michael Leighton that used to skate with us quite a bit. He was a goalie, NHL goalie, mostly a backup. Played a long time though. And the guy's at the university. So when we were done in the summer, he skated with the university before he went to Carolina to finish his last year. And the guy said that in practice, they couldn't score on him. Backup goalie in the NHL.
Yeah, backup
goalie in the NHL. So in a practice, how many shots are you getting? Not one went in the net. Not one. So you're getting breakaways, you're getting 2-on-0s, 3-on-0s, blah, blah, blah. And I've shot on Mike. He's really good. Yeah. Not one. So when people sit there and watch the game and think you're going to score in the NHL level, like, you got to be precise. Yeah. You got to be good. You got to be even a little bit lucky. The goalies are so good. And so if Carey Price is out on the ice with you, or Vasilevsky. Yeah. Can you imagine how amazing they are? Yeah. Like, you just don't score.
Yeah, and when you watch the game, like, everyone is relatively in the same ballpark playing. Yeah. Right? So you don't get to see how good these guys actually are. Right? Because everyone is kind of in the same realm. So when you're looking at everyone who's basically the same, but more or less in the same ballpark, you don't see the contrast to, like, regular people. Or, like, if you get a college kid that comes out and is trying to make an NHL team, like, these guys, I remember one of the guys we had in here went to Canucks camp. Yeah. And so it was like, it was development camp or whatever. Yep. And he was saying that we're sitting in the room, and one of the guys in ownership or in upper management, whatever, comes in, and he says, okay, guys, 2% of you are going to make the team. There's 40 guys. 40 guys at the camp. It was 2% of you are going to move on to like the next to main camp or whatever. So these are the numbers. We've had 200 guys in the OHL play in this level. We've had a bunch of these guys from the European leagues. We've had a bunch of these guys from all over the world. They're all the best, basically is what he's saying. We have all the best guys here. 2% of you are going to make it. So that means of however many 30 to 50 guys or whatever, there was like 2 guys or whatever that they're picking out of this group. And one of them was that Peterson kid that plays on Vancouver now. So really one, because that kid was already on it. So it's like, and these are all the top of the top of the top of the top. And they're not good enough to make it. They won't make it. Dude. One kid of the group, you know?
Dude, it's well, okay, so I used another example with Siegs last night. Siegs is a nickname. So if anyone say, what's a seed? Sieg? Seg? Siegs is short for, is a nickname for him. So I was talking to Siegs last night, and I said, we're talking about how hard it is to make it. I said, so there's a guy that just signed an NHL contract. So I don't want to say his name because I don't want to, like, he plays against my son, plays junior against my son. And I've watched him play 4 games now. And yes, he's older. He's older. So this is part of the seasoning process. And that's like, so, but it's twofold. The 16, 17-year-old, you will be that guy. That's hard to understand, but like, it looks like such a big gap. Like, he's so good, but every year you get a little bit closer and a little bit better. But anyways, I was telling Siegs last night, I go, here's a guy just signed in the NHL. They sent him back to junior. So I've watched 3-4 games, and this guy controls the game. He controls the game.
Yep.
He's not the best player, but he's got a presence. So he's tough. He's dirty. He has a look. He can skate. He can move the puck. He can shoot the puck hard. But he's not. If he wanted to take the puck from one end to the other, and then if someone wanted to play him, if he wanted to run them over, he would. He's just big and he's just a strong guy.
Yeah.
Like, right? And he's got that presence. This guy controls the game. Now, he does have a turnover, yes, whatever. So he reminds me a little bit of Dalton Prout. The same presence that Dalton has, the same type of skating, and that same toughness. So I said, but Montreal sent him back. So the people look at him and go, holy man, he controls the game. Like, he decides himself how rough this game's going to be.
Yep.
Or if he wants to have a quiet night, he's going to control that. Right? You know what I mean?
Like, exactly.
Because when he's on the ice, everybody just kind of,
he's a
little softer going to his corner. Right?
Yep.
The hits aren't finished quite as completely on him. And when you do try to hit him, he already knows, like, it's just a skill. Yeah. He positions himself to hit you first.
Yep. And
it hurts every time.
Yeah.
And then he throws, when he decides to turn it up a bit, the hits become boom. Yep. Boom, like every shift. Then he controls the puck and he creates more room. So he literally controls how rough the game's going to be. If he wants a quiet night, he's going to keep it a quiet night. Points, everything. But I was saying to Siegs, he's not in the NHL. And he's probably about 12 deep in that NHL lineup for his position. How good do you have to be if you can control an OHL game?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. Yeah.
How good do you have to be?
It's amazing.
And that's what people really don't understand is, like, he's really good at the OHL level, but there's a dime a dozen of him. Yeah. Not a dime a dozen. I wouldn't say it that way. But he's not Shea Weber.
Well, in the NHL, there's a dime a dozen of those guys.
Yeah.